All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Shai, Bashem Rakah Gwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Bashmi Shai Brakatham to the overall elect, as well as we ought to believe that we are, as well as is written in the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, that faith are the things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. And it's your brother Laban, and we're going to get right into this. As this reads, Elon Musk has already tapped into the brains of 21 people, thousands more to follow in 2026 with mass production of Neuralink chips. And we know that this came as a result of these devils tapping on to their so-called higher power, which is Satan, because you gotta also get in mind of this scripture over here, that they search out, as this is written, Psalm 64 and verse 6, they search out iniquities and they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So their heart is deep in wickedness. Their heart is deep. That's why they get together and they have these meetings, and or to delve into the sorcery and the witchcraft that they do, so that simply they can get ideas on what they can do unto us in the future, especially where it concerns this implantable device that will be made mandatory real soon. So what they're now doing now is they're showing the power of this stuff, giving us an idea that this stuff isn't bad at all. It's actually transcending. It's transcending for one to see, because you got people that were paraplegic that can become unparaplegic. You got people with this technology that were blind that can actually see. So it's for you to look at this as a thing of transcendence. That's what I wanted to say. All right. And that's why, as it reads in the book of Revelations, 13 and verse 14, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. What is the beast? The revival version of the ancient Roman Empire that we are now standing on, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. So they're able to tap into those miracles with this stuff because of that one thing that they do, which is sorcery. And this is the stuff that they've been trusting in for years, since their inception. And it's worked because the Lord allowed it to work. All right. As well as it's written in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, if I'm correct. Nope, that's not the scripture. It's in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10. Let's pull that real quick. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 5. So as this reads, nope. It's Sirach, excuse me. It's Sirach 10 and 5. Sirach 10 and 5. Let's pull this out. Let's read 10 and 5. So as this reads here, in the hand of the Most High is the prosperity of man, and upon the persons of the scribes shall he lay it, his honor. Absolutely. So that's the point. The point is that the Lord is allowing them to prosper with this left-hand side stuff to fulfill his will, as well as is written that there be many devices in a man's heart. Proverbs 19 and 21. But the counsel shall stand. So they think they're going somewhere with this stuff. They think that with their God, such as Satan, they're taking things to a whole nother extent away from the Most High. And they can then overallly redefine this existence to another meaning, calling themselves gods. But really what's happening is, again, the Most High is taking them for a stroll. And once they reach to their apex, Once they maximize on their wickedness as well, just to include, the Lord is going to shut all of this down in a big way. And when most people take that implantable device, we're going to be delivered, and this society is going to go belly up in the smokes. And this man is going to lose absolutely everything that they had as a collective. These devils are going to lose absolutely everything, and they're going to become destitute. And we're going to rule over them. The ones that remain alive, we're going to rule over them, slapping chains on their asses. That's where the bus is going to stop next. All right. So anyway, I'll be right back. I'm doing a video. Just be quiet. So yeah, let's get Luke 16 in verse 8. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely, for the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. Right, going back to what this reads, how he searcheth what? Iniquities, right? No. This is the wrong precept. Psalm 64, I meant to go into. So because he searches out iniquities, he's able to accumulate knowledge of what to do and what not to do. So if he's accumulated knowledge on what to do, he can do the quite contrary. And that's what the devil does. That's what the wicked does. He knows what to do, but he ain't going to do it because it's not in him to do it. Esau got that can't do right spirit in him. Proverbs 16:4 reads that, how does it go? The Lord have created all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So that the evil one is going to bring that evil because he's froward in mind, body, and soul. All right. And that's why we're in an evil time now. But we're going to approach the official day of evil, which is Jacob's trouble. Luke 16 and verse 8 once again. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely, for the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. So they're wiser than us as a collective. The children of light are Israelites. Now the elect were the very few within Israel that knows what Esau is going to do. So because we have this truth, that gives us a greater advantage of these devils, because we know more than what they know. And we already know what they're going to do before they even do it. All right. So yeah, by the mass majority of our people, they're wiser. But where it concerns the elect, they're not wiser than we are. Just like Daniel. Daniel was much more wiser than the Magi's and all of those various individuals that were specialized on the left-hand side with Nebuchadnezzar. When you get into that story, and he threatened them if they couldn't break down the vision that he had, then there was going to be some sort of backlash with that. And I'm just saying it in my words because I don't really remember vividly that story, but you get what I'm saying. So Daniel was able to break it down perfectly, showing you that the men of the Lord know all things, because as well as it's written, we were given an unction to know all things, and as well as it's written that the Lord doeth nothing but he revealeth his secrets unto the servants, the prophets. Now let's move forward and let's go and read Revelations 13 and 14. I think I've already read this already, but just in case I didn't, we'll read it again. Revelations 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword did live. Right. So like I said, they were able to do this by tapping into the left-hand side. And so when you take that implantable device, you would have given yourself to this system and you've considered this system as your God, which is what? Idol worship. It's a form of idol worship because you idolize this world. You idolize the people that's above you. Okay? So for Israelites especially, you can't take the mark, but another nation can take as much chips as they want. The Lord ain't concerned about these nations. He's only concerned about the Israelites whom he has given the law to. As well as it's written that what? Sin is the transgression of the law. So if you wouldn't give her the laws, if a nation wasn't given the laws, then they can't sin even if they do transgress the laws. So sin officially applies to Israel. So when we take that implantable device, there's going to be a consequence for that. All right, because what we're doing is we're in violation of this scripture over here. Exodus 20 and verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and thou shalt have no other gods before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of anything. Let's move this out of the way. That is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Exactly. So that's the first commandment, is to not worship any other gods, but rather to worship the Lord instead. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to go and read this over here. For wisdom, as this reads, in Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 12, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and that's what you'll be committing, spiritual fornication, and the invention of them, the corruption of life. And that's what Esau's going to do, have you do when you take that implantable device. He's going to corrupt your life, because the life of man is to keep the laws and the statutes and commandments, which is his life. The Most High, Yahweh Yahweh Shai, is our life. So we want to go astray from that, then guess what? Now we're leading into the corruption of our life. And that's what Esau is about. Esau is about being a corrupter. So there's a God that Esau worships, and it ain't the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob either. So if you take that implantable device, what you're going to be in league with is their power instead. Therefore, committing spiritual fornication and corrupting your life. And what leads to that is death, eventually. That's what this thing is going to be all about, man. Revelations 14 and 10 tells you the consequence when you take that implantable device. So that's why we keep warning you of this prophecy to come. So anyway, I said what I had to say on this. I'm going to close out on this one as well. Shalom.